So what's good, everybody? And it's Crazy J, and I want to welcome you to Crazy J's World. Thank you for joining me. If you're a subscriber to my YouTube channel, thank you. I appreciate you so very much. I'm shooting this with my phone. I think that's how I'm going to start doing my episodes. I'm just going to shoot them with my phone, and I'm going to edit them on my computer because I enjoy this Riverside platform. It's cool. There's an app for the phone. There's not an app for the computer, but there's an app for the phone. So it lets me shoot from my phone, and then I can go on my computer and edit my videos, which is cool. Please, if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, and share my content. It'll help my channel grow. I'm working on an email list thing. I'm using Chimp. I forget Chimp. It's supposedly you have an email list. It helps with your podcasting. I just found this out. I didn't know about that. An email list. I'm gonna work on that. And check me on Spotify, Crazy J's World, and follow me on TikTok. I do little shorts on TikTok. I'm having fun doing this. This is fun. I have a lot of topics, so I'm trying to figure out ones to talk about and just to talk about recovery. There's so much to talk about in recovery. Recovery has a lot to offer. There's so much. I'm going to start it off with Just for Today, living the program, and then we'll do our thing. All right, so here's Just for Today, living the program. Tell yourself, just for today, my thoughts will be on my recovery, living and enjoying life without the use of drugs and alcohol. Just for today, I will have faith in someone in NAAA who believes in me and wants to help me in my recovery. Just for today, I will have a program. I will try to follow it to the best of my ability. Just for today, through NA and AA, I will try to get a better perspective on my life. Just for today, I will be unafraid. My thoughts will be on my new associations, people who are not using and who have found a new way of life. So as long as I follow that way, I have nothing to fear. Just for Today is really awesome. That's really a good reading. There's so much hope in it, and that's what's really fantastic about it. I love the Just for Today, living the program. So how are you guys doing out there today? I hope you're all, having a great day. I hope everything is going good with you guys. I'm having a good day. And actually, I wanted to talk about, one day at a time. So we can only stay sober one day at a time. Can only stay sober today. That's it. You can't stay sober tomorrow. You can't stay sober yesterday because yesterday's already gone and tomorrow's not here. That's why they say just for today, stay sober. There's so much you could do in a day of sobriety. You can go to meetings. You could do a meeting. You could do as many meetings you want today. You could read your literature today. You can pray to God today. You could talk to your higher power today. You can make your gratitude list today. There's so much you could do in one day at a time. That's it. That's how this program works. Just works one day at a time. We sometimes we take on too much in a day and it overwhelms us. I've done that. Some days you just get overwhelmed. This is a one day at a time program, and that's what's great about it. I don't have to worry about a week from now or a month from now. I have to worry about that when that comes, obviously, and it will come. But I only have to worry about today. Just today. That's why I like Just for Today, living the program. That's why I read it, because when I do this, I'm just sober today. How do you feel about one day at a time? Like, what's your perspective on one day at a time? Mine is, it's a great philosophy. And the real big reason about one day at a time is, especially someone, all right, let's say, for instance, someone comes in the program, they're 21 years old, okay? And they are already an alcoholic. They already know they have a problem. Are you going to tell that 21-year-old that, yeah, by the way, you can never drink again? That's how this works. Or you could tell that 21-year-old that just stay sober today. Just one day at a time. That's all you have to do it. If you tell anybody you can never drink or drug again, they're going to get I can never, ever use again. Even though we know that, I know I can never use or drink again. I know that. Because if I do, I'm going to go right back to where I was. But saying it one day at a time is such the best way to say it. Because when you say it that way, it makes more sense. It has more logic. It helps because you're not looking at months down the road. I had to learn that when I first got sober, not worrying about I can never drink or drug again. Just worrying about staying today, in the day. I stay in today, one day at a time. That's the easiest way to do it. If you just do it one day at a time, you get years. You stay sober. A lot of people, they like that philosophy. I like that philosophy too, the one day at a time. This is a one day at a time program. I hope, if you're in recovery and you're listening, you matter. One day at a time matters. Reach out if you have to. Just for today, live in the program. It's such a beautiful program, and the way the book is written, it's written for one day at a time. That's all you have to do, just one day at a time. It keeps you, one day at a time, keeps you from overthinking. Especially when you're early in recovery and you first come into the rooms and you're struggling a lot and you're going through a lot of changes. When you hear that one day at a time, you're just like, man, I just got to stay sober today. The people who think ahead are a lot of times the people who relapse because they're just putting too much effort into the future. They're not staying in the now. You need to stay in the now. Excuse me. You need to stay in the now because that's the best way to do it. One day at a time is how we get time. That's how you get time. If you don't stay in one day at a time, you're not going to get time. I had to really look at myself when I first got sober. Because when I first got sober, it was tough. I was going through a lot of changes. I didn't understand recovery. I don't think I ever understood recovery every time I got sober. I don't think I ever gave it a chance. Like the one time I was marking every day on the calendar that I was sober because I wasn't doing it for me. I was doing it for everybody else, and want everybody to praise me because I'm sober now. I'm not using anymore. I never did it one day at a time. I was like, I'm just going to stay sober for the rest of this week and I'm going to do this and do that. Doing it one day at a time makes it so much easier. I just got to stay sober now. That's it. Right now I'm sober. I stayed sober today. That's the only way to do it. That's the only way you can do it. When you're trying to plan things, especially recovery, it's hard. Because you can't plan your recovery. It's not like something that you could get a calendar and write down, map it out. Like, all right, so I'm going to do this day. I'm going to do this. I mean, you can make plans in recovery. Maybe you want to plan a meeting you want to go to next week, stuff like that. Yes, you absolutely can, but that's not what I mean. You can't try to make a plan of this as a whole. You can't look a year now like, all right, so next year I'm going to do this, this, and this. It doesn't work like that. You have to just stay in today. Just for today. I guess that's what the topic is. Just for today. What did you do today to make your recovery better? Well, today I'm making this podcast, so my recovery is already better because I'm getting to talk about recovery. I might, go off topic and that's okay because as long as it's about recovery, it's okay. My day has been very fruitful. I've had a good day so far. I woke up, I cleaned up my house, I prayed to my higher power. I don't feel I have any holes in my recovery today. And I had fun today. And that's just today, one day at a time. That's all you have to do. It's not hard to do this program as long as you follow, that guideline of just a one day at a time. You need to get a routine down. A routine's really good too in recovery, especially when you're new. If you're new, try to figure out a routine like when you wake up. Try to do the same thing. Maybe, I don't know, pray to your higher power right when you wake up. I pray to God when I wake up. It's a great way to start your day out. Then, maybe do some readings out of your book. We get the AA book, we get the NA book, maybe set some time besides to say, all right, I want to read some of the book, because the book is good to read every day. I need to start doing that again. I used to do that. I used to get up, I would read my 24 hours a day book, my daily reflections, and the Just for Today book, because actually the Just for Today is NA, but I use it for AA also. And I would read that book, and then I would go about my day, and then if I was going to a meeting, I would go to a meeting or, whatever. I would, and when I had a sponsor, I would talk to my sponsor, and I would just go throughout my day because I'm only living just one day at a time. So what I'm trying to tell new people is get a routine. It helps when you're new in this program. Wake up, maybe pray to your higher power, then do readings. The readings are really great right in the beginning. The 24 hours a day book, just for today. And the Day Reflections are great books to start off your day with reading. I used to do them a lot. I don't know why I stopped. I need to start doing that again too, because that helped me. That actually made my day really good. Just seeing, the word of recovery and going through it, it really helps. It's, routine helps. Then eat breakfast, maybe exercise. If you have work, you have to figure out time in between work to see. My job, I work all different hours. So I don't have really like a set schedule, like a 9 to 5. You might not either. Routine is a big way to stay sober. Like if you can get a routine down, you can definitely stay sober. Routine is definitely part of it one day at a time. You have to have a routine in recovery because the routine is what really keeps you sober, especially early. Definitely get a sponsor when you feel ready to. Make sure you talk to your sponsor daily. That could be part of your routine. You reach out to your sponsor. Maybe reach out to somebody in the program, not just a sponsor, just somebody to talk to. Every day you're going to go through different things. The one day at a time is awesome, but it's still, you're going to go through things differently every day. Every day is not the same. Every day we go through different things. Like today I'm going through something different than I was yesterday. But I'm sober today, and that's what matters. My sobriety is still here. I'm living one day at a time. Even though I have over 9 years sober, I still live one day at a time. And like I said, some people count and some people don't. There are people out there that just say they're sober today, and that's their choice. I seen a thing online. I forget this guy's name. He's been around a long time. I forget his name. And he was talking about to this guy, like how, so you're counting your time. Why? To just show people how long you haven't picked up a drink or a drug? And then what is it? Like, what's the counting for? Now, is there something wrong with counting how much time you have? Like, is there something wrong with that? Like, is it like, I always wonder that, like, cause I know there are people, this one girl I used to go to meetings with upstate New York. She would always say she's only sober today. She's living one day at a time and she's just sober today. And I didn't understand that. I was like, what? And I asked her, I was like, well, how much time you have? And she's like, I just have today. And I was like, oh, you don't count your time? And she was like, no. And that's her choice. So counting time doesn't mean you're rubbing it in someone's face. Like I'm not rubbing it in anybody's face because I have over nine and a half years sober. That's not why I tell people. Some places need to know how much sober time you have. Like for instance, when my kids, for me to actually be around my kids, I had to have enough sobriety time because I remember they were going to come upstate and they were going to move in with my grandma and I was living there. And the lady who was with the state came to the house to check out the house, make sure it was suitable for the kids, which it was. And then she asked me how much time I had sober. And I think I only had like 9 months at the time. And she was like, okay. And then I got a letter a week later stating that I didn't have enough sobriety time to still be in my kids' life yet. So if they wound up moving upstate with my grandma, I had to move. Like I had to leave the house because I only had 9 months sober. Now for one, 9 months sober that's a lot of time. That's still a lot of time. I still think that's a lot of time. But to them, it wasn't. And see, some places need to know how much time you have. Now, if I would have had a year sober, I probably would have been fine because they would have looked at it like he has a year. But I had 9 months and it wasn't enough time. So everybody's different with, counting time or not counting time. I count time. I want to know how long I have sober. To me, it's not the milestones and it's not for bragging. It's just to know how long I've actually been doing this. And I'm going to keep counting my time. But like I said, you might be a person out there who doesn't count your time, and that's okay. You don't have to. Just stay sober one day at a time. If you want to count just today, then you're sober just today. The one day at a time motto, it's the reason it was created is to keep you in the now. It's to keep you focused on what you need to be focused on. Because a lot of us try to say, no, I want to stay sober forever. And that's good. You should want to stay sober forever. But yeah, hearing that is sometimes it's a lot on a person. Like just telling somebody they can never drink again. Like you're an alcoholic, you can never drink again. Some people are really going to get freaked out about that. People have actually not come back to the rooms because of that. One day at a time is such a great motto. It really is. It's a great way to stay focused and just stay in now. But like I said, a routine is a really good thing too. A lot of you need to stay busy in recovery. If you're sitting around and you get bored, is usually when you start thinking. I mean, it's happened to me. I got bored sometimes in my sobriety. Not every day's fun. I have fun in sobriety, but not every day's fun. And then your brain starts thinking like, hey, well, why don't you, like sometimes when I pass the bar, when I'm coming home from work, the bar's right up the street from me and I say it, but I'm just like, nope, I'm not going in there. And sometimes, man, I'll be coming home and I hear them it sounds like they're having a great time in there. Like they're laughing and they're whatever. And I can hear the cornhole because they have a cornhole set up over there. I hear the corn bags hitting the board and I'm like, they must be having fun. Doesn't mean they are. That's the addiction part of my brain that's saying, they're having fun because they're at the bar drinking and you're not. That's your brain playing tricks on you. You have to always remember that your brain is going to play tricks on you. Your brain, the addiction part of your brain is going to want you to think that you're missing out. So like sometimes I do. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I feel like when I go by the bar that's by my house and I hear them having a great time, I feel like I'm missing out on something. But I'm not. And then I think about, and I'm like, you know what? I'm sober today. Just today. And my sobriety brain starts kicking in and says, nope, you're not missing out. And that's another thing, man. You're going to think you're missing out on things when you get sober. You're going to think that, like say your friends are going there. Say you still have good friends that are, they're not like you. Because this can happen. You can have friends that can go out and drink once in a while and have a good time and they don't have a problem like you. And they're going out. Like there's been times I had to tell people like that when I was working with like upstate, when I was at Denny's, actually, when I worked at Denny's, there was people there that, they weren't, I guess they weren't alcoholics or whatever like me, but they did go out and they would invite me and I'd have to decline. I'd have to be like, I can't go out with you guys. And they were like, well, if you come out, you could drink soda. But the problem is I'm not going to have a good time. They're all going to be getting drunk. I'm going to have to hang out with them when they're drunk. I don't want to because I don't really want to be around drunk people if I don't have to be, if that makes sense to anybody. And I'm going to sit there in a bar where I don't want to be. Why put myself in a place where I don't want to be just to hang out with people? I try to find things to do in sobriety that are fun. The podcast I'm doing is fun. I'm having fun doing this. I'm enjoying this. It'd be nice to start having some guests on. I want to start having some people on. I got the mics. I tested them out today. They work. I'm so happy. Like, you guys don't understand how happy I am. I hooked up the mics to my converter, and it worked. Like, the microphones work. The only thing is I won't have headphones like I wear in them because I only have one set of headphones. Well, I have another pair, but the problem is I only have one spot on this converter for headphones. So I don't want to wear them when I'm, talking to a guest because, I'm sure I'll probably hear them, but you don't have to use the headphones. Like, I can test it out before to make sure the microphones are good and then take the headphones off. I don't have to use headphones. You don't have to. My printer stopped working. I'm a little upset about that. I just ordered one because, I'm trying to write things. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to live one day at a time. I'm trying to write again. But I can't print anything because my printer just wanted to stop working. I've had this printer for like 7 years. I guess it's just getting old. It's a good printer, but I guess it's finally shit the bed. It said, I was trying to fix it. It said it had some configuration problem. I don't know what that means with a printer. And then I would do like a test page and it would print. So it prints a test page, but it won't work on my computer. I was trying to write a poem today. I think I'm going to write a poem about one day at a time. I think that's a good one to write. Because one day at a time is just a way to live. You have to live one day at a time in this program. It's that simple. You have to. If you don't, you're not going to make it. You can't live for tomorrow, and you can't dwell on yesterday. You just have to live today. Just today. About the printer again, though. Yeah, like, you know what? I'm not even mad. I'm upset a little bit. I like this printer. But it didn't let it ruin my day. You know what I mean? I didn't. And I'm going to tell you all something else, too. This is the third episode I filmed today, but the first two, I didn't like how they were going. I was talking, and things just weren't coming out. I was doing one about having fun in sobriety today. That was one of them. And then I forget what the other one was about. But you can have fun in sobriety. You can have fun. Like when I watch football now, I enjoy football more than I did when I was using. Like watching football sober is fun. Watching the Super Bowl sober is fun. Listening to music sober is fun. Like I enjoy music so much, and now I get to listen to it sober, and it's means so more because all those feelings that I have, I feel them. You know, when I watch shows now, I enjoy them. Like I enjoy things so much more now than I did when I was using. I didn't enjoy life when I was using at all. You know, using just takes a lot of enjoyment out of life. It really does. Like you don't realize it until you realize you have a problem, I guess. You know? But yeah, man, like I enjoy so many things now that I didn't enjoy. Like I enjoy going to work. Like I enjoy getting in a house going to work. And sometimes my job can be stressful. You know, I moved up and I have a lot more responsibility, but I enjoy the responsibility. I enjoy the job. I'd really like to get a job in doing something with recovery. You know, like being a recovery specialist or working in like I would love to work in recovery as my career. I think I've talked about that before. I do like the job I have though. Like I like the people I work with. I enjoy what I do, but I would enjoy working in recovery so much more. You know, like that's where I would really like to do. That's why I took the peer recovery course to try to get a job in recovery. It just didn't work out, but it's okay. I'm not saying I still can't work in recovery. I can. But yeah, if you're struggling out there, man, just stay in today. Just a one day at a time. Just stay in today. That's all you have to do. You don't have to worry about tomorrow and you don't have to worry about yesterday. You know, like that's what makes this program so easy to do. I'm not saying easy, but it makes it so manageable. That's the word. I'm sorry. Manageable. Just doing it one day at a time. That's the reason for it. You can manage your recovery that way. One day at a time is so easy to manage than trying to live the rest of your life without using. And I guess they figured that out when they created the program because one day at a time has been around for a long time. You know, that's how they were doing it. And that's how they figured out that's the best way to do it. Because then you don't overthink, you don't overthink recovery. You don't overthink like what's going to happen tomorrow. You know, every time you just do one day at a time is another day you get sober. It's another day closer to accomplishing what you're trying to accomplish. And then, like I said, if you have any holes in your recovery, you have to work on them. You always have to work on yourself in this program. You know, recovery is work. It's not always easy, but it's not always hard either. We make it hard. We can make recovery hard if we want to. And we, you know, as addicts and alcoholics do that. We make everything hard. You know, we push ourselves hard when we don't have to. You know, we don't have to make recovery hard. It doesn't have to be hard. I try to make my recovery as easy as possible. So I don't try to overthink things. I don't try to dwell on things. I try to stay positive. I try to stay in a good mood. I don't try to get pissed off. I used to be pissed off all the time. I don't try to be pissed off anymore. You know, getting pissed off and being pissed off all day is not good. Like I start thinking, like when I get mad about something, I start thinking about it. Like I said, I was getting mad at work. I mean, I guess because we were busy and I was getting upset at work. And I finally said, why am I getting so mad? Like, why am I letting work piss me off? And then I started like mellowing out. And now I'm just like, no, you know what? If it's busy, I can't control that. It's out of my control. And that was the problem. I think I was trying to control the situation and I couldn't. I don't know. I can't control the flow of business. Just like I can't control what happens today. You know, what happens today happens. My one day at a time is just my one day at a time. You know, I'm just going to live today and appreciate what I have. I mean, things in my personal life, you know, they're not great right now because I got some things going on. But I'm trying to be positive about it. And I hope being positive about it makes it better. You got to stay positive. Anybody out there listening, stay positive. Try not to always think the negative. And sometimes that's hard, especially when, you know, because addicts and alcoholics, we think negative a lot. We're just negative people. And I'm not a negative person. I don't want to be negative. I want to be happy and profound today. And I want to, you know, enjoy what I have one day at a time. Just stay sober one day at a time. That's all you have to do. That's it. How is everybody doing out there? I hope you're all actually really doing good. I do. I hope you're enjoying the show. You know, I got a lot of topics to talk about. Just one day at a time is a good one because, that's how you live the program. You just live one day at a time. That's it. That's all you can live is one day at a time. But, like I can't wait to expand this. I wish I had more interviews to do. I did one with my friend Makai, and that was not bad. But that's the only one. I thought I was going to do one today. I thought my son's friend was going to come over. This kid Julio, he's pretty cool. I think he's doing music, and he wanted to be on, but he didn't come over. Because I was all looking forward to doing it because I have my microphones, and I feel like I can do interviews. They'll be fun because I can ask questions. I made like a format list of some stuff to ask. And I think people would enjoy it. I feel like I'll bounce off because I have somebody to actually talk to. Sometimes sitting here talking to the camera is, you got to think someone's out there. Like I'm talking to somebody. Somebody's listening. But yeah, I hope you're all, having a great day. Like I said, just living today. It was a beautiful day today. I'm sober today. Like I love being sober. I love sharing sobriety. I enjoy doing the podcast where I can reach out and talk to people, and hopefully help somebody. If you're struggling out there, reach out. Reach out to somebody. Call your sponsor if you have one. Like, do everything you have to do to stay sober today. Because you don't want to, ruin what you have, what you've worked so hard for. Yeah, one day at a time, man, is how it all works. If you just do it one day at a time, man, you're going to get time. That's crazy, right? One day at a time, you're going to get time. You got to have fun in sobriety. You have to learn how to enjoy sobriety. And at first, it might be tough. When you first get sober, you might be going through a lot of stuff and it might be tough to enjoy it. And you might not stay sober because of that. And you got to learn how to live all over again when you get sober. Like you actually have to learn how to relive. Like you relive. You get sober and you relive. And that's what's crazy about it. You start your life over. That's why they ask, what's your belly button birthday, which is your real birthday, and then what's your sobriety birthday? Because that's the day you start reliving. You're reborn. And you're born into recovery, and that's when you actually start living. It all matters on what you want to do with it. It all matters on how you want to use your sobriety. Do you want to be a voice? Do you want to not? Do you want to hide in the shadows and just be sober, which is okay? I want to be a voice of recovery. I want to talk about recovery. I want to have people on who are in recovery and do interviews with them and have them share their stories. Like that would be really cool. Like that's what I feel like would be awesome to have people on who have been, in the rooms and then they can share what they went through. And I just want to talk about life on here too. I just want to just talk. And then if I could get, a lot of subscribers, I can start going live and we can chat. We can chat it up, baby. I love chatting. I like talking. I'm a talker. I'm a sociable person. And I just live one day at a time. Recovery doesn't have to be hard. It's only hard if you make it hard. Remember that. Recovery is all about how you make it. If you make it hard, it's going to be hard. You just got to go with it. You got to do the things you were taught and make sure you talk about what you need to talk about. Don't hold things in. Resentments, none of that. If you get resentments, write them down. Write down any resentments you have. And really look at them and wonder, and say, why do I have these? Yeah, resentments are one you don't want to hold in. You want to, get rid of them. You don't want them to build up and make you destructive. You don't want that. Yeah, so one day at a time is the way to live. That's how you can stay sober for years. Just living today. Just live one day at a time. That's it. Just one day at a time. Yeah, that's such a good philosophy. Like, it's amazing that the one day at a time thing works. And it works really good. It worked for me. That's how I got over 9 years. Just staying sober one day at a time. Now, if there's anything you guys ever want to know or anything, you're curious, comment. Write comments on my YouTube. Watch Crazy J's World's podcast. Leave comments so I can read them. If anybody has questions, like I got a lot of views on that shovel one, that short with the shovel. I think that over 1,000 views, and I had a bunch of comments like, yeah. So I did a short about it, like what happened. So what happened was I was in vocational school, building repair, and we had shovels and stuff in the classroom. We built stuff in this class. And I went to the bathroom, and then one kid grabbed the shovel off the thing where the shovels were, and he put it under the doorknob. So he had the part that you shovel with. It was a flat shovel. He jammed it into the doorknob. So when I went to go to the bathroom, I couldn't get out. I was locked in. I want to tell the story so people actually know what happened on the podcast. So at least if you're listening, you'll know. So Mr. Miller, our teacher, yelled at him about doing that and told him to get the shovel out of under the doorknob because I couldn't get out of the bathroom. So when he took the shovel, he leaned it with the shovel part. He just grabbed it out of under the doorknob and he leaned it against the wall next to the door. So when I came out of the bathroom, the shovel was still there and the part you shovel was towards was upright. And Mr. Miller was like, "Hey, Chris, can you please put the shovel back?" And everybody's laughing. I was like, "Yeah." So I grabbed the shovel to put it back, and I grabbed it. And when I turned, the part you shovel was towards my face. He ran up and he kicked the bottom of the shovel, the handle part, and he came up and whacked me in the mouth, right here. Got me on the bottom of my lip, and it split my lip open. And I dropped the shovel, and all I knew was there was a lot of blood, and everybody was laughing like it was funny. So I had to go wait outside for my mom to take me to the hospital because the school had to call her. So when I went outside, two of my friends, a guy and a girl, seen me and asked me what happened. And I told them, and they ran into Vogue because they knew who the kid was because I told them, I'm not going to say his name, but we knew who he was. They ran in there and they beat him up. So then after the stitches and everything, when I got back to school, I had to sit down with him and his mom and my mom. And if anything ever happened to the kid again, I would be expelled from school. So that's the shovel story. So people who heard it, I guess maybe I didn't say all that in it. And I just said I was in school and I got hit in the mouth with a shovel. I don't know. But I wanted to clarify that. I forgot. I wanted to do that a couple episodes ago. But I'm going to do it now because this is my podcast and I can talk about whatever I want. The title of it's just going to be Crazy J Talks Recovery. Because I don't always have to have a title episode. I just want to talk. I'm doing really good in my recovery today. I hope you're doing really good in your recovery today. I hope that this podcast is helping somebody out there. Like I said, I don't know where it goes after I post. I don't know who's seeing it. I only have 54 subscribers on YouTube. I have 48 followers on TikTok now. That's cool. I'm going to keep doing little shorts of just check-ins. Yeah, I'm not doing anything flashy. I'm hoping that people are watching and enjoying it. I don't care if they are. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to slow them down, but though, because I'm doing a lot, I think I need to slow down to just once a week. But I don't know when that's going to happen because I'm enjoying doing it. I like putting them up. I like coming on here and seeing myself and talking into my microphone. It's cool. I need to get interviews. If you want to be on, let me know. I'd love to have you on. We could talk about whatever. You don't have to be in recovery to come on. We don't even have to talk about recovery. We could talk about whatever you want. I just want to talk. I want to do interviews because I want to interview people. I want to get to know people. I like asking questions. But yeah, man, recovery, man, it's just awesome. I don't have a lot going on. I just go to work and then I just hang out at home. I play video games and I started doing this podcast. Then I'm going to keep at it. If you want merch, let me know. I can figure out a way. I mean, I can't sell it. I can sell it if you want it. I can have it made. You just got to let me know that you want it. The Crazy J stuff. Yeah, that I wear. Because I'm proud of it. And I'm proud of what I've been doing. And I'm just going to keep at it. I hope that just for today helps you guys. I hope that, it works for you guys. That's why I like reading in the beginning. I'm just going to keep at this, and we're just going to see where it goes. If I could start having guests, it'd be cool. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and just talk a little bit about one day at a time, and just come on and say hi. I hope everybody's having a great day, and just keep sober one day at a time. That's all you got to do. If you can stay sober one day at a time, you're going to get a lot of time. And that's the beauty of recovery. We only have to live one day at a time. That's it. You know, you can accomplish so much if you put your mind to it. Don't let alcohol and drugs control you anymore. Because obviously if it controlled you, then you have a problem. You have to learn how to you control yourself. You have to become the master. And you can. Just do it one day at a time. That's it. If you have any burning desires, reach out. Before you pick up that first, drink or drug today, reach out. You don't have to use today. You're better than that. I know I don't have to use today. I don't want to use today. I'm just living one day at a time. Yeah, man. The program's great. It really is. I've learned a lot in the last 9+ years of me being sober about myself. I know my triggers. I know things that I didn't know before. And you'll learn all that too. As you get more sober, you're going to learn more things about yourself. You really will. But you always got to work this. Every day it's work. One day at a time is work. It's always work. It's like a job. You have to work the program to the best of your ability. That's why they say work the program to the best of your ability. That's all you can do. You can only work at the best of your ability. That's it. The rest will come over time. You'll get off that pink cloud eventually. That pink cloud's going to leave you. And then you're going to have your reality check. That was a topic that's right, the pink cloud. And I started recording it. I didn't like it. I didn't like that one. I didn't like the fun one. I was doing them and I just was like, I don't like this. I have a lot of topics to talk about. So I do. And I want to talk about a lot of stuff. I just need people to keep watching. The views have been very down. So I don't think a lot of people are watching. But that's okay. Hopefully maybe it'll pick up. I don't know. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Then I'll slow it down and I'll keep doing this. I'll just slow it down. The word's not getting out there. I'm not getting out there. And that's okay. I just hope the right person, if someone is struggling, they see my content and they're like, oh man, I can relate to him. I mean, I told some of my story. I didn't tell about my adulthood. Maybe I'll do that one soon. I told, about when I was a kid in my teenage years, but I didn't talk about like my adulthood to now. I could always do that as an episode. I want to do it. I just didn't do it yet. I don't know why. I'm trying to figure out how to talk about it. But yeah, recovery, man, it just makes things so much better. Don't be a dry drunk. Go to meetings. Don't think you're invincible. Reach out. You always make sure you reach out, especially if you're going through something, especially if you have a burning desire, make sure you reach out. Okay? Remember, your recovery matters. You matter. Without you, we have no recovery. Give it away to receive it. That's why I'm doing this, so I can receive it back. I give it out and I receive it back. And that's how this works. The program's beautiful. But that's about, I think, all I got on this one. I'm going to end this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really do. I hope. Let me know what you want to talk, if you want me to talk about stuff. Like, start commenting. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. You know what I mean? Like, it takes you guys to get my content out there. I can, post it and then just see what happens. That's all I can do. I can't do anything else. I can just make content. I'm just going to keep making it and putting it out there, and I hope you guys will. I'll let you guys know, hopefully, if I get an interview soon. I'm going to try to have some people on. I want to start doing some interviews and try to grow my channel into something bigger. I really want to make this into something, but it takes you guys out there to help me. All right? So let's end with the serenity prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. You're beautiful and you matter. Always remember that. This is Crazy Jay, and peace out, everybody.